Okay, so now I'll demonstrate how to put together a comp that actually is probably more along the lines of what you will create this week. One of the Actually, I'll just turn this back on so you can see this. What I want you to do is to create something out of your shapes. Now you're going to be using 5 lines per your comp. So my instruction is, make it recognizable that the average person might recognize, whether it's a pentagon or stairs or a rocket or a tree or something like that. Now, what I'm going to do is the demonstration that I did in class, or I will do in class depending on when you see this, is that I'm going to create a set of dominoes and kind of give it an action feel to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up for a minute because we really don't need the layer comp just yet. I will turn off this guy over here, and now I'll just start off with my starting point lines. Now this is a bit of a mess here right now, so let's see if I can organize this a little bit more. And so let's see, I'm going to take these guys out for a minute. I want to keep shape 1 through 5 together. So I'm going to put this copy up into the changes, and I will take this guy out, and this guy out, and this guy out. Now if this isn't really plainly obvious right now, that's okay. Moving layers around will be more clear soon. Now these are some of the 2 changes that I've made when we rotated and scaled and when we put a color on this one. I'm just going since these are off, I'm going to just close this up so it stays out of the way. Okay, so now I've got my original 5 layers, and I will restack them so that they are in their numerical order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Okay. Well, the domino thing I want to do is I want to do in different colors. So what I'm going to do, since again we can't track color with our layer comps, I'm going to duplicate these layers. So I'll start off with by choosing shape 1, and I will shift click. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and click on shape 5. So now I have all 5 of these things selected. So to quickly duplicate all 5 of these layers, I'm going to click and drag and hold down and drag down to the icon next to the trash can right here, and that will duplicate my layers. Okay, so first thing is, since these are my duplicates, I'm going to turn off these guys. So this is a cool trick here. I will click and drag across all of these eyes right here. So click, mouse down, staying down, and just dragging, and look how it closes all of them, or turns them all off. You can do that all on too. Click drag. Oops, I didn't get all of them. Click drag. You can use that anytime you like. Okay, so I will leave these off and now play with these guys right here. So first thing is I'm going to choose a color for each one of them. So let's see, this is shape 1 copy. So let's use something. I'll do green this time. I did some other colors in classes. And for my first color, oops, that was not meant to happen. There we go. I will put this into the most saturated green we can get and click OK. And then the bottom one here, I will make the weakest green. Now, just in case you didn't see this before, when you're in the color picker like this, you can move your cursor outside the box, move it outside the window, and choose this color, for instance. So right now my chosen color is black because that's what this started with. But when I click over here on this color, now it's green. Well, I want to use a flavor of green. I want to make a very weak green. So I'm going to actually make this a much more kind of a spearmint, perhaps. It's still got a little tint of, I can actually go a little bit farther. Cool, it's almost white, which is fine, but it's still green. Okay, now I'll click there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a range. So this is the most saturated, this is the least saturated. So then I'll go to this one here. I'll click on this green, and then I'll choose like a middle ground. Right about there. Oops, I didn't. There we go. Middle ground. And I'll choose this one here and choose this green, and I'll choose something that's sort of in the middle of the middle, which is, oops, sorry, I meant to go over here. There we go. And for my last trick, I will do this one and choose somewhere around here. Okay, so now let me turn off my mask here so you can see this. So I've got just a changing scale of green, right? So now we'll just move these things around. So we'll choose the first one. I've got my move tool, and move it down here. In fact, I can also move it when I'm using the free transform tool. So I will hit Command T. So now that I have my controls here, I can rotate. So I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. That's what it says up there. So this is minus 90. I went counterclockwise. And I will also move this over here. Okay, I will confirm this. I can hit the Enter key on my keyboard. I'll hit the checkbox up here. And now I'll move this shape to Command T. And rotate. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Let me cancel this. I'm going to go to shape 3 here for a moment and rotate this around. Now this one is going to be at a roughly 45-degree angle. So there's my minus 45, and I can push this down here like so. And I'll checkbox this. Cool. And then for my green one down here, I'll make this basically what I'm, for those of you who are not familiar with animation, I'm sort of making keyframes. And then for this second one, I'll put this down here and rotate this one as well. So again, Command T to do this, and I'll put this at about, let's see, I'm looking at the diagram up there. So I'll set this right about here, which is roughly about 67 degrees. And I'll put this down a little bit more. Cool. I'll checkbox this, and then get unit number 4. I can either move it, or I can just use the Command T, and I'll do this about 22 degrees. Is that right? Roughly speaking, there we go. Okay, and I'll put this down here. Just click the checkbox, and there you have it. So what I'll do is go back to my LayerComps. Again, click in the null space, and I'll call this dominoes, because it tracked the position. I don't have any layer styles on here, so that's okay. But it is tracking the visibility because I turned off those original 5 layers. You can hear my dog's tail there wagging. Sorry about that. So they're my dominoes. Click OK. Now when I go back to my original starting point, it should look good there. When I go back to my dominoes, it should take me there. Still working within the same file. Okay, I've got one more file to show you.